What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. Want to talk about this is Ryan Clark just went in on RG3, ironically on the same topic, Caitlin Clark Angel Reese, that it was last time. And a lot of people saying, Ryan, you should have never apologized because RG3 does these type of things. And we're gonna get into what was said, but first let's look back at their history a little bit on the video I did previously.
Was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard, they kicked Aaliyah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul. What did Angel Reese do? Nothing. She didn't get up and try to swing on her. You know why? The reaction was different because of who did it. And there is a lot of history there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlin Clark? You remember that? On the sideline, just, yeah, baby, get her, you get her. Who celebrates like that for a flagrant foul on another player if they don't dislike that player? Now, I heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making her the villain. She's making herself the villain.
Your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over Black women by denigrating Black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the Black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes. And I think this is what I'd like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racists, he'll be no less Black than me.
Now, many people came against Ryan Clark and exposed that he had a white baby mama as well, and he went on to apologize after that. But, just a few months later, here we are again, as we saw Angel Reese get the cover of NBA 2K26, the WNBA version where they're going to have their cover athlete on there. And so, shout out to her for that. That's a major accomplishment. But we also seen this group of fans who put a monkey on the front of the cover of the game and was like, that's what Angel is. Black people are monkeys. And, they were obviously Caitlin Clark. I don't even want to call them supporters of hers. They are like Caitlin Clark extremists. I'll say that. And I don't really want to put Caitlin's name in that. It's just for my lack of vocabulary at the time, right? But they are clearly driven by race completely, and so they went on to make that cover. And so RG3, he comes out, he says this, all right, this has got to stop. There's no place for racism in this world, whether you like a player or not. Angel Reese should never be called or depicted as a monkey. I have been quiet on the Angel Reese front because she shared a video that aided in my wife, kids, family, and friends receiving threats, physical harm to my family and friends, and threats of SV to my children on social media and beyond. That will never be okay with me. I never attacked her or her family when I stated and backed up with clear basketball evidence that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It's sports. Everybody won't like each other. People in Angel's inner circle called me and told me I was right, and Angel Reese has grown to hate Caitlin Clark because of the media always asking her about Caitlin and being constantly compared to her. Some people made it about race, but I never did and never will. Instead of becoming the villain in anyone's story, I decided to just not. All that being said, Angel Reese or any black man or woman should never be called or depicted as a monkey. Stop it. If you hate Angel Reese because she is black, you are the problem. If you hate Angel Reese because you're a Caitlin Clark fan, don't turn it racial. There should be no space for racism in this world. And so that's what he had to say. But, to change this picture into the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing, he pretty much played into it while trying to defend her, right? He could have just left that part off and just talked about the cover itself, because that is where it's outside the lines a little bit, or a lot of bit, when you are putting a monkey on the cover. And he tried to backtrack it with a series of tweets after that, say, he was standing up for Angel, but the damage was done already at that point. And Angel even defended it. She says, lying on this app when everybody know the first and last name of everybody in my circle for clout is nasty work. And that's all she had to say. Social media was eating him up, and we had Ryan Clark step up to the table and get at him again too. Let's peep it.
RG3 seems to have this strange fascination with Angel Reese, or connection to the spotlight and attention that it brings, or who it brings those things from. I know now I don't get to speak on someone else's black experience or call something self-hate when I don't know how you truly connect to the community or the culture, or I can't assume that you see yourself in the thing that you push back against. But this one should have been easy. Angel Reese, this young, beautiful, talented, hardworking, successful black woman who is on an absolute tear in the WNBA, who has an opportunity now to unveil her own shoe, is depicted as a monkey in this graphic. A graphic I only saw on his page. So now his millions of followers can see this, and it should be easy to defend her against such deplorable hate and racism and bigotry and evil. But he couldn't do that. He had to make himself both the victim and the hero of this story. He had to mention that Angel Reese did something to him instead of acknowledging what he initially did to her. He had to be the champion again for Caitlin Clark, I guess against the young, angry black woman, by lying on her and her inner circle. So now Angel Reese, who should be in a celebration and trying to ignore the noise of all the evil and attacks that she feels every single day, has to come out along with her mother to shut down these lies and accusations from RG3. This should have been a situation where he comes out as human and says, we have to stop this. Because by his own admission, he says, if you don't support people that don't look like you, then you're a part of the problem. Let me be clear. If you never support people that look like you, you are also a part of the problem. God made us with the responsibility for inclusion and compassion and empathy and love for all people. We also have that same responsibility for our people. I know people were mad that I apologized for my initial statements, but I wanted to make sure people had clarity about what I was saying. But while we're on apologies, we all owe Rob Parker an apology, because though he was early, he was right about RG3.
My question, honest,
friends of yours, right?
Friends of mine, right? Who were around and in some of the press conferences, people I've known for a long time. But my question, which is just a straight, honest question, is he a brother or is he a cornball brother?
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain that.
Well, he's not really, okay? He's black, he kind of does the thing, but he's not really down with the cause. He's not one of us. He's kind of black, he's in the, but he's not really like the guy you really want to hang out with because he's off to something else.
Why is that your question?
Well, because that's just how I want to find out about him. I don't know because
I think at this point, RG3 needs to sit this topic out. If he couldn't read the room and know that at that specific time, it was about the cover and the cover only, you know, just depicting her as a monkey. They try to get those off, you know, in the midst of the back and forth. And that's what infuriates some people. You feel like some people just supporting Angel Reese because she's black. And that post right there with the monkey shows that at times that does need to happen. You know, if you look back at the history of this country, you know, it shows that at times that is absolutely 100% necessary. And so, because it's people that still think like that. And so, yeah, man, shout out to Angel Reese. I enjoy watching them both play, to be honest with you. And I don't get into it, you know, at my age now, I don't get into this back and forth, but I can say, when we're talking about what RG3 said, is very irresponsible, you know, as a person of color, for him to say that with his white wife sitting right there behind him and, you know, trying to speak as if he's defending Angel, where he made himself the victim, you know, in what he said, you know, my family received this, and this, after he spoke first. You know how this social media thing works. You say something, it's gonna be all types of think pieces coming back, you know. And if you feel bad enough, you know, reach out to law enforcement, you know, for help or whatever. But, or if you feel threatened enough by it. But yeah, man, I think at this point, you could say they don't like each other on the court. I'm cool with that. But when we talking about something racially motivated like that cover, we can never talk about her and Caitlin not liking each other, because it's beyond that at this point. You know, this is something that a woman of color, like that type of mind, is we seen what that mind has done in this country over the last 400 and something years. So, you know, that's all I got to say about that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.